What is up, my dudes, and that one girl is ready for another knockdown, drag 'em out slobber knocker. This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos are coming weekly. Ring that bell, you know when they drop. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on a Cardo communicator or save some money on some Beyond Riders gear or on some Hogworks gear? Then you should definitely check my referral links down below. Want to support me and all my do-gooderness like these cool guys here? Bam! You should become part of the Brew Crew and join the coffee page down below. Want to know why I'm asking you for money? Well, next to those 10,000 Amazon affiliate links that also go to a good cause is a link explaining what I do with your money. Get it, got it, cool, let's move on. Alright guys, so today we are going to be putting the 2025 Harley Davidson Street Glide up against the 2025 Indian Motorcycles Chieftain. First and foremost, we are comparing the base models of these bikes. So when you start blowing up the comments saying, well, why aren't you doing the brand new Chieftain liquid cooled engine versus the Street Glide? Because these are the base models for both manufacturers that we are putting up against each other. The same reason why I'm not putting a Street Glide CVO up against just a regular Chieftain. We are doing the base models. So with that said, let's get into this, shall we? So right out of the gate, let's talk about price, because obviously that's the first thing you're going to see when you look up any of these bikes, and I get it. So with the Street Glide, you were looking at $27,749. With the Chieftain, you were looking at $24,000. So the Chieftain is coming in at almost $4,000 cheaper than the Street Glide. So that's a pretty damn good deal, and high five to you, Chieftain, for keeping that lower. When it comes to engines, the Street Glide is using the 117 Milwaukee 8, while the Chieftain is using the 111 Thunderstroke. Now here's where things get a little bit tricky just for this next comparison. Normally I like to go to both manufacturers' websites and pull the horsepower that they are claiming from those sites, because if you go to different dyno pages, if you go to different forums, you're going to get different numbers. It's just fact. So with this, the big problem is Indian has chosen not to put the horsepower for the 111 Thunderstroke on their site. So I did try to stick with Indian forums, and I took basically an average of everything I saw, and quite honestly I saw stuff going all the way down to 74 horsepower, which seemed a little on the lean side. I'm not quite sure where they're getting that number, and I averaged it all out. So with the Street Glide 117, you're pulling 105 horsepower. With the Chieftain, on average, you're pulling 95 horsepower. So you are looking at a 10 horsepower difference on these bikes. Now, normally 10 horsepower could be made up when we start talking about the weight of these bikes, but both of them, curb weight, ready to ride, come in at 811 pounds. So clearly the Street Glide has an advantage here. With that being said, getting into torque, the Street Glide is rocking 130 foot-pound of torque versus the Chieftain's 109 foot-pound of torque. So quite honestly, the Street Glide is going to take the Chieftain off the line 10 times out of 10, and it's going to make it to the next light a whole lot quicker than the Chieftain is with that extra 10 horsepower underneath your seat. Speaking of seats, both of these bikes are sitting at about 26 inches. It's like 26.4 and some crap like that, you know, 26 and change. So we're just going to round it. They're both at 26 inches. So whatever you're looking for height wise, these bikes are coming in exactly the same. For suspension, the Street Glide is running dual shocks in the back and telescoping shocks in the front. The Chieftain is running a mono shock in the back and it's running telescoping in the front. Honestly, I prefer the mono shock over dual shocks, mainly because with Harley, both shocks are not doing the same thing and they are not the same shock. You pull those saddlebags off and you look, one is a glorified slave shock and one is doing more work. Now, when I took the Street Glide for a test ride last year, the 2024 model, which is using the same suspension, I can say Harley has greatly improved their suspension. Would I ride Harley suspension full time if I was to buy a Street Glide or a Road Glide? No, I would definitely put aftermarket on there. And with that being said, I really would love to see Harley move to a monoshock on their touring models. This is something I've said many times, many videos before. So a high five to Indian for running that monoshock on their touring models. I think that is great. Both of these bikes are running about 18 gallons of storage in their saddlebags, so if you're looking to pack up and ride for the weekend, either one is going to be a good choice for you. Both of these bikes have ride modes available to you. Now, they're slightly different in names, but they are doing the same thing. Both of them have 3 options that you can choose from that are out of the box. So with Harley, it's Rain Standard Sport. With Indian, it's Touring Standard Sport. So Touring is pretty much going to be your rain setting. It just has a little bit less power and it's making things a little bit smoother for you. The advantage though goes to Harley because they have a 4th option, which is customizable, that you can set for yourself. So you decide what you want that ride mode to be and set it up for the way you want to ride. Personally, I'm a set it and forget it kind of guy. So if I can't find something in those first 3, I might try to customize something and decide if I like it or not. But ride modes in general, I really don't find as much use for them, and I don't see myself like surfing through them going, oh look, it's a little drizzly out, I better put it in rain mode. But for somebody who is looking for this, you may enjoy this, and this may be something that you are looking for. So just know the difference between the 2 bikes here. So let's talk lean angle real quick. The Street Glide is actually rocking 32 degrees of lean angle left and right, whereas the Chieftain is rocking 31 degrees. Now, 1 degree, not a big deal at all. If you are one of those people who want to take it to the absolute edge though, and like lean as much as you possibly can, the Street Glide is going to give you a little bit of extra. Although I don't know too many people that are, you know, dragging knees on baggers. I know you're out there, so I don't want to discount you. Just be aware of that. You will lose 1 degree if you go with the Chieftain. So let's get into the infotainment side of this. With the Street Glide, you are getting just a little over 12 inches for your infotainment screen. So we're just gonna round down to 12 inches. Whereas on the Chieftain, you're getting a 7-inch screen. This is actually the screen they've been using since day one. I really wish they would upgrade this. However, the Chieftain is still using analog gauges. I prefer analog gauges, and I think that's fantastic. With the Street Glide, you are getting that 12 point whatever size screen, but your gauges are also in there because they are digital. The one caveat to this, and I think the saving grace, is you can customize your screen. So if you want those gauges really small or you want them out of the way, you can definitely do that. If you want directions and you want the biggest map possible, Street Glide is the way to go. If you don't really care about this, then either one is fine. This is kind of a wash, but do know that you are getting a couple extra inches when you go with the Street Glide. Now, if you're looking to crank some tunes, the Street Glide is actually claiming a 200-watt stereo system, whereas the Chieftain is rocking a 100-watt stereo system. That is a huge difference. I would really like to see Indian upgrade this. Actually, when they did their whole Power Plus rollout this year, I was hoping they were going to do a little bit more of a refresh for like their Challenger lineup, some of the stuff like the TFT screen. They didn't. I was disappointed with that, but whatever, maybe next year. Nonetheless, if you're looking to make sure that 5 blocks hear your Lynyrd Skynyrd tribute, then Street Glide is the way to go. If you're only looking for like 2 blocks to listen to your Lynyrd Skynyrd tribute, then the Indian is going to be the way to go. Now, while you're cranking out Simple Man on repeat for the 14th time driving down the street, we all know that wind noise can affect your sound and if you can hear those stereo. So this is actually one of those things where I really wish Harley would move forward on this. Harley has a fixed windscreen. So whatever your windscreen you put on there, even if you're using an aftermarket one that's a little bit taller, that's what you get until you put a different one on. Whereas Indian has those power adjustable windscreens that I think are awesome. I have used them, I have tested their bikes, and they do make a difference, especially if you're going to hop on the highway, windy days, rainy days, stuff like that. Popping up that windscreen makes a difference. I really wish Harley would adopt this. I don't even need the power version. I would like to see Harley do more of a manual version like they have on the Pan America. To me, if it's manual where you're just kind of like clicking a little handle, you're moving it up, give me like 2-3 positions so I can pick different heights. I'll be happy with that, but it's one less thing that can go wrong electronically if it's just manual. Harley, make this happen. I really want this. I want an adjustable windscreen. I'm not worried about power. If you want to make it power, have at it. I don't care. More power to you. See what you did there? Just do it. Like, that would be fantastic. Indian is crushing it with this, and they've been doing this for years. So this is something that Harley really should have caught up on by now. When it comes to colors, this is really where Harley is going to separate itself from Indian. When it comes to the Street Glide, you have 11 different color combinations, as well as choosing if you want your engine blacked out or you want it chrome. Whereas the Chieftain base model, you get that in black with a chrome engine. That is all you get. Now, I do want to put in a little caveat here as well. With the Street Glide, the very base model is that primer gray I absolutely hate. So if you want a black bike, there is an additional cost to that. I think it's about $600, give or take. And then if you want the blacked out engine, that is an additional cost. All of these colors are additional costs. Going from chrome to black is an additional cost, but it is there and it is offered. Whereas the Chieftain, you are getting a black bike, chrome engine, chrome pipes. If that's what you're looking for, perfect. You nailed it. You got it. Just take the bike and roll away. If you're looking for something else, if you're looking for a more interesting color combo, if you're looking for like two tones, anything like that, the Street Glide's going to be the way to go. Just understand that you are going to have to pay more for this, and you are easily going to start creeping into that $30,000 range when you start making these selections. All right, so if I was to walk into a shop right now and I had to choose between a base model Chieftain and a base model Street Glide, which way would I go? This is actually kind of a tough decision because both of these bikes have a lot of good and a lot of bad to them. With the Chieftain, you've got that power windshield, you've got the power locks. You can actually stretch out a little bit more on this bike. When I took my friend's Chieftain for a ride, I found that I had more leg room. So if you are a taller person and you don't want to put aftermarket parts on there, you just want something off the floor to roll away with, the Chieftain is a fantastic option for you. However, then you get into the Street Glide, which it has the bigger TFT screen, which I will absolutely use and utilize. It has the 200-watt stereo system. Maybe that is enough where I wouldn't have to drop in aftermarket stereo parts. That would be great. I'd love it. It's got the extra horsepower and torque. So there's a lot good to be said about both of these bikes. For me though, the deal breaker is with the Chieftain, it is a black bike with a chrome engine, chrome pipes. I'm not a huge chrome fan. I'm not a huge fan of that combination. So I really would just go with the Street Glide because I would have more options for like the color combinations I could get. I would pay the extra to black out the engine, and I would pay the extra to not have the primer gray. So that's really the way I would go on this one. But now I'm gonna throw it to you. Which would you choose? If you had to walk into a shop and you had to pick between these two, which would you go for and why? Sound off in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dude you know who's got like 30 grand. He's trying to decide between these two bikes. Maybe it'll help him. He loves this stuff, trust me. I'll see you all on the flip side.